everyone, today I'm going to be going through my 2019 A-Level Psychology predictions, and this is for the gender section of Paper 3. As I've said within all of my other videos, please do make sure you still revise everything because absolutely anything could come up. So what was in the 2018 paper for this section? We had the gender schema theory, the social learning theory of gender development, some research methods questions, and then a question on BEM's research into androgyny. What do I think could come up in the 2019 paper for this section? First, you've got the psychodynamic theory of gender development, which was proposed by Freud. Within this, Freud proposed that gender development occurs within the phallic stage, and before this, children have no understanding of gender identity. Freud suggested that at this point, children are, in a sense, bisexual. Freud then went on to propose that boys experience the Oedipus complex, whereby boys have quite intimate feelings for their mother and so feel quite hateful towards their father. Boys also experience castration anxiety within this stage, which is the main reason as to why they resolve their conflict with their father and instead identify with them. Girls experience pretty much the opposite of this, whereby they are envious of their mother. For girls, this stage is known as the Electra Complex. And of course, as with many of Freud's theories, his research was also based on his work with little hands. Out of all of the sections within gender, I do think that this one is the most likely to come up somewhere. Next, you've got atypical sex chromosome patterns. So this is where you look at Klinefelter's and Turner's syndrome. Klinefelter's syndrome affects males and is where individuals possess the chromosome structure XXY as opposed to the normal structure XY. Because of this, individuals may experience some breast development and they may also have problems with their coordination. Individuals may also tend to have poor language and reading abilities, as well as having problems with their memory. Turner's syndrome affects females, and so individuals have an absence of an X chromosome, and so have the structure X0. Because of this, individuals do not have a menstrual cycle and also have a broad shield chest. They may also have a webbed neck. Individuals may also have a high reading ability, though they do tend to be socially immature. So you may have a 16-mark question which asks you to talk about atypical sex chromosome patterns, and then this could go further to ask you to discuss what this tells us about gender development. This could also come in the form of an application question, so you could be given a scenario where you're given two individuals with different characteristics, and you may be asked to identify what type of syndrome they have, and then carry this on through a 16-mark question. Next, we have the influence of culture and media on gender roles. This topic looks at how both the media and cultural differences influence different gender roles. Here you can talk about studies which have looked at differing gender roles across different cultures. For example, Mead looked at the different tribal groups in New Guinea, and from this, the differing gender roles between the different groups. You can also talk about how the media provides key role models whom children come to identify with. You may also give evidence which supports the idea that the media does provide particular gender stereotypes, such as that by Fernham and Farragher. You can also give your own examples of where you believe such stereotypes are found, for example, in the Disney princess films. And so finally, you have the different cognitive explanations of gender development. Within this, you have the separate topics of Kohlberg's theory and the gender schema theory. Kohlberg suggested that there are three key stages within gender development: gender identity, gender stability, and gender constancy. Kohlberg also proposed that children imitate their role models within the gender constancy stage. This process follows ideas suggested within the social learning theory. The gender schema theory suggests that once children have reached the gender identity stage, they begin to develop their gender schema. You also have the idea of in-groups and out-groups. Martin and Halverson suggested that children are likely to have a better understanding of schemas that fit around their in-group, which is their own gender. You can also see here that I've just noted about a comparison question. Since the comparison question in Paper 2 in 2018, I do think that there's a good chance that AQA might want to branch out and include a comparison question within Paper 3. I will probably say this within all of the different topics because I don't know whereabouts in Paper 3 it could come up, but I do think there is a good chance in gender that it could possibly come up between the cognitive explanations ask you to compare Kohlberg's theory and the gender schema theory. But of course, it could be anywhere within any of the topics. But again, it's mindful to watch out that there could be a comparison question within one of the paper 3 topics. And again, as I've said within all of my other videos, do make sure you are still up to date on your research methods revision, as we have seen research methods within the gender section, and of course we will probably see it across paper 3 somewhere. So just make sure that you're up to date on your research methods revision. With all of that being said, I just want to say a huge good luck to all of you. Again, please do make sure you do revise everything, as I could be completely wrong. But again, good luck everyone.